Robert Greene's second law of power, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies, is a ruthless but pragmatic strategy for consolidating control. The law argues that friends clouded by envy, familiarity, or emotional expectations can become complacent, take advantage of your goodwill, or ultimately betray you when their interests shift. Conversely, a former enemy has a clear and calculable value. They are highly motivated to prove their loyalty and competence to dismantle past animosity, and since the relationship is transactional and watchful rather than emotional, they can be deployed in high-risk roles where a friend might falter. This law ultimately advocates for a coldly rational approach to power, prioritizing demonstrable usefulness and managed rivalries over the perceived safety of emotional alliances. Here is the second law of the power: never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Written in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power. Be wary of friends, they will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical, but hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. First discussion about transgression of the law. Michael III of the Byzantine Empire in the mid-9th century AD placed too much trust in his friend, Basilius. This was a young man who had once saved his life, and in return, was given all the privileges an emperor could bestow on a friend. Michael turned the peasant Basilius into a sophisticated and educated courtier. Basilius later on became greedy for more wealth and power and had his former benefactor and best friend Michael III murdered. Second, observance of the law. Emperor Sung of China in 959 AD was able to turn all his enemies into loyal friends. He persuaded his generals to retire to a life of nobility and give up their dreams of grabbing his throne one day. He spared those who conspired against him and was able to win over enemies with his generosity. So, wisdom in a nutshell. Do not rely on friends. They will never be totally honest with you. They will not openly disagree with you in order to avoid arguments. Enemies expect nothing, so they will be surprised when you are generous. An enemy spared the guillotine will be more grateful to you than a friend. When you decide to hire a friend, you will discover qualities she has kept hidden. Skill and competence are more important than friendly feelings. Hiring friends will limit your power. All working situations require a kind of distance between people. You destroy an enemy when you make a friend of him. An enemy at your heels keeps you sharp, alert, and focused.